Welcome to the game day preview for the Iowa game. Penn State travels to Iowa on Saturday for an 8 p.m. kickoff at Kinnick Stadium. Coach, you had a bye week last week. Just talk about the way the team bounced back on Monday, first day of practice.
Yeah, it's a very challenging deal right now because obviously Iowa gained a lot of momentum off of their big victory over Michigan State, and we've got to try to gain some momentum back this week. But I thought yesterday the guys came back and practiced really hard. The tempo was good, and hopefully they stay focused throughout the week.
You touched on the Iowa-Michigan State game. I'm sure you watched it. What'd you think?
Well, it was a great Big Ten battle between really two very stout physical football teams, and it was a battle to the end. And you know, I have a ton of respect for both coaching staffs and both teams, and it was a fun game to watch. And obviously, double overtime game, two evenly matched teams, very hard-fought game.
When you look at Iowa's offense, James Vandenberg is a veteran guy. What do you see from that group and the style of play they bring to the field?
Well, they play very hard. They play a physical style of football. They do a nice job up front. Their offensive line is playing really well. They have a really good center in James Ferentz, who's having a good year. Tough running backs, Wiseman, they're running the ball well. James does a nice job of managing the football game and is a smart guy, accurate passer, so it's a big challenge for our defense this week.
On the flip side, defensively, this is now a team that forces a lot of turnovers. Done it a lot over Kirk Ferentz's time there. Got the leading tackler in the nation, Anthony Hitchens. What do you see from their defense and how physical they are?
Well, they're very well coached. They understand the scheme with which they're playing in. They play extremely physical, hard. They play for 60 minutes and then some in the Michigan State game. So, again, we've got to do a great job of taking care of the ball because this is a ball-stripping team, and they feed off of turnovers as a team. So we have to do a great job of that. We have to limit the penalties, and we've got to deal with a very electric atmosphere at Kinnick Stadium, crowd noise-wise. So it's a big challenge for our football team, big challenge for our offense.
You touched on being physical on both the offense and the defense. How do you counteract that as a football team? How do you get ready for a physical game?
Well, you have to practice in pads, and you have to practice against each other quite a bit. We feel like we're a pretty physical football team, especially up front on both sides of the ball. So the only way to prepare yourself for a game like that is to go against each other in practice, and not for a ton of reps, but at least a portion of practice during each day, and hopefully that gets you ready to play the game.
When you talked a lot about doing a self-scout last week on the bye week. What's the biggest thing you learned from that? Well,
there's a lot of things that you learn from self-scouting. You know, when you're in the middle of the season and it's somewhat of a rat race, you're going from drill to drill or meeting to meeting and practice to practice, and you have to take a step back and look at some things that you may be really setting a tendency about. And so we had to do a really good job of studying our own tendencies, and hopefully in this game we can break a few of those tendencies. That's what you try to do when you're analyzing yourself.
It's your first night game as a head coach on the road. How do you keep the team busy during the course of game day? Right,
so that's a tough deal because it's a long day on Saturday. And so what we'll do is we'll let them sleep in a little bit. We'll wake them up and have a nice big breakfast, and then we'll have a bunch of meetings. We'll have meetings in the morning, we'll have meetings in the afternoon, walkthroughs, keep them moving around. We'll walk around the outside of the hotel, things like that. Get them outside, get them acclimated to the weather that it is that day. And but again, it's a long day, and our guys will be chomping at the bit, but we'll keep them focused during the day.
Kyle Carter received some recognition this week on the Mackey Award list. What does he do well on the field for you?
Well, he's a very instinctive player, a very smart young player that we're really lucky to have here at Penn State. He's tough. He understands football. You only have to tell him things once, and he gets it. He understands coverage, how to run routes versus zone and man. He understands the running game and leverage and the way he has to block different plays that we ask him to block. So he's had a good year to this point, and like I say about all these guys, hopefully they can continue to play and improve week in and week out.
Keys to the game Saturday for Kinnick Stadium. What do you need to do well to put yourself in a position to win?
We've got to really deal with the crowd noise. We've got to keep our poise. We have to make sure that we don't turn the ball over on offense. We've got to limit penalties. We have to stop the run on defense. We've got to establish the line of scrimmage on offense. And overall, we've got to make sure that we understand that we're going into a very live atmosphere, a good football team, and we've got to keep our poise and play smart football.
Coach, best of luck this weekend.
Thanks, Tony.